Black Lagoon, Volume 12. This was an awesome, action-packed read. Been wanting to go over this for a while now. I just had to finish and reread it because with these type of books, I've noticed now I'm probably going to butcher the creator's name, so bear with me, but Rei Hiroe, I think is how you pronounce it. He makes sure to get very in-depth character development, and I just sometimes have to go back and reread it again to kind of get all the little things that I've missed. Now, if you guys want to kind of catch up, because we went over volume 11, so I'll make sure to leave the cards throughout this video, but here's the read-up of what's been going on thus far. Feel free to pause it and check it out at your convenience, as well as all the read-ups of the characters. This is, and again, I'm probably going to butcher this, Lagoon Sombre, parts 1 through 8. And I still love manga. I just love how it's black and white. It just still, you can feel that pulp fiction-y comic book feel. So we'll start out on this MMA fight. Whoosh, whoosh. I bet on Blue. He's got a heavy kick. Who'd you bet on? Oh, I always forget. That's another thing. Whenever I pick up a manga, you always want to do that, but I forget that, they always read from left to right. So it's the same thing. So it'd be, who'd you bet on? Red. I bet on Blue. He's got a heavy kick. Blue, are you stupid? He's not knocking anyone out with those wild swings. That's why you're still treated like a rookie. Leo Claire, I think is how you say that. And then that's how we're introduced to our characters. It's so humid. That's why I hate Southeast Asia. Stop whining, Leanuaire. Nigeria was hot too. It's a different kind of heat, Leandex. I can't stand the humidity. Then stick a popsicle up your ass. So you get the vibe of who these characters are. So again, part 1 of Lagoon Sombre. Feel free to make fun of me down in the comments. But this is the 5... how do you pronounce it? Hold on a second. It's the 5 something dojets. Dojets. Again, this is a lot of French, so I cannot pronounce it right. Le cinq dojets, I think is how I pronounce it, which means the 5 fingers. So one thing that I noticed just kind of going through, I found I guess you would call it the Japanese manga version of this. And man, I wish we got the versions there because the covers are freaking spectacular. And there's added little bits of information. So like the creator has this thing that says translator notes, and he says the French External Intelligence Agency, which is who these guys work for, which is the DGSE. And then the Le cinq dojets means the 5 fingers. So to kind of give you a quick run through on this, Le pouce is the thumb, l'index is the forefinger, le majeur is the middle finger, l'annulaire is the ring, and then l'enclair is the pinky, the little finger. So again, I probably completely ripped those apart, but I didn't know that because I don't speak French. I can speak a little bit of German and a little bit of Spanish, and that's it. So I had to kind of get schooled on that. So I like how, again, we open up with the fighting, and we kind of get the attitude of these girls. So they're part of essentially the French CIA. And so we see this is Le Majeur. And now this is the character that we're going to follow. And the reason I wanted to kind of give you guys the creator's notes on the 5 fingers is because we really start to follow Leah Nuder, and I will get into that here in a little bit. But the Lee Pounce is the leader, and she goes, still listen to that same lame song? Let me listen, Le Majeur. It's hot. I don't know how much more of this place I can take. Last place for everyone was just rocks and scorpions. This time's a city that smells like dog piss. We better not strike out again. You hear me, La Pouce? And so we kind of get in that they've been all over the place, and they're just hating Roanapur just as much as anywhere else. La Pouce, I'm tired of operating on unreliable intel. You understand that, right? Le Majeur. Cut it out, you two. We're a team. We're in this together. Now, while they're kind of talking about why they're here, they're watching this MMA fight, and the announcer goes, we've got something special for you tonight. A banquet of mixed martial arts. Anyone out there brave enough to challenge our champion in a special bout? And Le Majeur just goes right into it. And they're like, 1 minute. I don't know if he's the champ or whatever, but let's just get this over with. This ain't no place for a girl like you. Get your ass out of there. Oh, what's your name? Le Majeur. Come on, let's do this. And she just goes after these guys with a fierce intensity, just blocking all these trained attacks. And needless to say, she handles her own, which kind of leads into why they're there in the first place. They're looking for someone called Lamouche, I think is how you pronounce it, M-O-U-C-H-E, like mustache, I think. But he goes, "You fucked up our bet. You understand what you did. An angry crowd costs the house money. How are you going to make it up to us? Haven't seen you around before. Where are you from? Or did somebody send you here? Answer me." "You. How tall are you? You must be over 2 meters. You match the description. Now. Next question." And I just love these use of close-ups to show the seriousness of Le Major and this guy that owns this MMA fighting rink. Burkina Faso, September 18th, 1989. Akosia Trading Company. Pierre Umwe, Luc Anom, Henry Zongo, Jean-Baptiste Bouquer-Legane, and Lamouche. What the hell are you going on about? Listen to me very carefully, big man. I'm trying to figure out if we got business with you. Answer me if you don't want to die. And then just kind of going from the sort of lightheartedness, you just start to feel that intensity real quick. And the girls just go in, ripping into this dude. And needless to say, as the bodies start to drop, of course, this gets the attention of all the higher-ups in Roanapur. Things are all tough all over. It would be nice to hear some good news for a change. Don't you agree, Mr. Chang? And I love Balalaika. She just has that perfect femme fatale attitude. She's the leader of the Hotel Moscow, so she's got that militaristic USSR Russian attitude down. And then what I love about her and Chang is they're just like the yin and yang of one another, where she is more ready to, like, she can be insidious, but then she strikes and it is brutal. And that is how I can't remember if Chang, I think Chang is Chinese, so not the Yakuza, but whatever the Chinese mob would be. He's more calm, collected. And when they come through the front door and it's a blaze of glory. But Chang doesn't just knee-jerk reaction, kind of like, I can't remember his name, but he's part of the Italian mob. Such vagaries are the way of things in our line of work. It could happen to any of us. But bitching about it isn't why we're here. We're here to discuss something that's going to make our drinks taste a bit more bloody. There's always something in this city. And so they're trying to figure out why all of these guys are being hit. It's happening in Ronnie, which is the Italian, Chang's, Balalaika. Is somebody trying to shuffle the cards? It was a 5-person crew in black suits, all girls, black suits. Chang, you wouldn't happen to know anything about it, would you? I've been hit too. I've lost men. Use your imagination on something more worthwhile, Ronnie. I don't know, Chang. Lackeys for third-tier operations are easy replaceable. It's not much of a price to pay to tip the scales, don't you agree, Balalaika? You always can make me laugh, Ronnie. You think this man would use such a roundabout tactic? If Chang wants to tip the scales, he'll go right through the front door of Visconti Foods. That's the kind of man he is. Now, one thing that I've noticed from, I can't remember the volumes off the top of my head, but all the way back to Roberta. Yeah, right around Roberta. It's always, and even Revy said this when they brought in Rock to the Lagoon traders. She always said it's always the outsider that's fucking shit up. And it's just kind of been the way it is. The Dojets here, Roberta, the Romanian twins, and there was a couple more, but those were kind of the top ones that really caused a ruckus. Now, unlike regular traditional comics in the Western side, I love how, yes, it seems like a lot of reading, but you feel the intensity, and it's setting a point. Like, they're not just talking the talk, like, oh my god, this coffee is just like LMFAO delish. Oh my god, I need coffee because coffee science is my memes. You're feeling this intensity. This is a mobster scene, like something you would see out of like Godfather, for example. So they're all fighting there. They're a little untrusting of one another. But Chang really trying to change the way Roanapur is ran, rather than just being straight up mafia, like GTA style. He goes, if we can't ignore the disruption of our business, a price has to be paid. Patience, Ronnie. We wait, and they'll make themselves known. Until then, sit back and have a smoke. After all, we're all pacifists here. And that's just what I love about Chang. Even between the manga and the TV, I'm out of coffee. Between the TV show that they did the adaptation as well as the comics, there's a scene where he's visiting the Lagoon traders. Someone launches an RPG at the window, and Revy's like, come on, this way. And he's just like, oh, great, the Grand Tour. And they're just going, and Chang's just keeping right up with two hands. It is just freaking awesome, which, as we see here, I love, the reason I bring all that up, I say that to say this, is how Chang just has that sly smile. After all, we're all pacifists here. That's just some great stuff. And then Revy talks about the assassins that are here. She goes, about the incidents that have gotten the whole city talking about a crew hunting down black guys. Haven't you heard? That doesn't sound good. According to Chang, he's not sure if it's the KKK or the National Alliance, but their target is very specific. And then, of course, Rock. He takes the data. I like how Rock's mind works, how he'll take all this data that people are throwing in. He's able to just process it, just boom, boom, boom. And that's why a lot of people in Roanapur have begun to rely on him. Why Balalaika looks up to him, why Chang looks at him, and even Ronnie respects him. He goes, what else have you heard about them? Well, not yet. Not much else. Jinx, the dealer at Balalaika's joint, made it through alive. He heard some strange things. And he's like, there's something about a date. A date? Yeah. September 18th, 1989. They seem to be fixated on it. And I just love the close-up. And that's another thing about, like, in terms of visual storytelling, we get this up-close of Dutch. And you can't really tell what he's thinking, but you can tell that he's in a contemplative state of mind when she brings up the date. And so, of course, that gets Rock moving, saying that we need to kind of work on this. And he goes, is it some kind of anniversary? But this could spill over into you, Dutch, so watch your back. And Dutch just gets up and walks away. And while that's reading, we see the girls still going at it, and you can just see how freaking violent. I did it again in this one. He makes 5. There are too many that fit the bill in this town. You need to back off, Leo Claire. You've got to make them, give them a chance to talk. This is my fault. You want me to make them talk, so I did what I had to do. And it's just so hard to just see how jaded they are to it in this world. Why isn't the DGSC sent anyone? You know why? Because we're expendable. I haven't forgot about Nigeria, La Paz. So I'll say it again. One of us will die if we keep going like this. Our value lies in the fact that we can operate in the ways the government can't. That's what the SAC is for and what we are for. Not to mention, we chose this path ourselves. So you can start feeling the tension between Le Majeur and La Paz. And this is why I'm going to kind of bring it up now. The creator even says that in the Japanese version of the manga, he has a page where he goes, no wonder Le Majeur is always so hostile. She's literally the middle finger. But you see how she just pulls a gun on their leader and everyone else draws on her. We just get that very intense stand down. She goes, somebody had to die that day. Maybe even all of us. But her sacrifice was necessary, and I'm grateful to her. Where something happened in Nigeria, one of their teammates died, and they had to bring on another member. Don't get hung up on life or death, Le Majeur. Death is the fate of the Sacs and the Cinco Jets. This job's only possible now because of her. That's how you need to look at it, whether you like it or not. Now, of course, Rock gets in the processing mode, wondering about Dutch, and Revy just says, you know, we're not supposed to be getting into each other's personal business. He's like, I see this stuff. I know all our purchases. I don't recognize any of this. These aren't in the books. This must mean it's Dutch's personal items. Haven't you noticed anything different about him? It could be anything. He could have a million reasons. I don't know what he's up to, but we all have secrets we keep from each other. And Rock says, he goes, I understand that, because there was the unspoken rule that they brought up with each other, but he says, unless it puts us in harm's way, we should mind our own business. You're right, but I'd personally like to make sure it doesn't put us in harm's way. And that's what I like about Rock is, even though how Revy says he's a pain in the ass, he wants to make sure that the Lagoon traders are safe, or that, Roanapur is not going to burn to the ground. So again, they're trying to figure out who the next target of the Dojets are going to be, which leads inevitably into another shoot down. They find out about Isaac, which was one of Balalaika's guys, and how he was able to stay alive, and he brings up all the information. And what I love is after they get that, they bring in extra help, which of course always bring in Shenhua. And I just love her interactions with her and Revy. She goes, why? Why I help you guys? Mr. Chang offered me first job in a long time, and that's what I get? It's Mr. Chang's order, so shut up and sit down. You don't tell me what to do, bitch. I don't like being around you. What about per diem? You gonna pay for 3 meals a day? This is my job. I'll cover it, Shenhua. You pay 1.3 times what Mr. Chang say and 3 meals a day. Don't forget. So who target? There's a crew hunting down big black guys in town. They've already taken out 8 people. The council's had enough. Mr. Chang wants us to stop it. Lure them out and make my job done. I like it. And so they go to this antique store. I can never remember a lot of the characters' names. I try, but the owner is one of the targets. And I've heard about it. It's so unsettling. And then he goes, Modibo, I think is how you pronounce his name. Goes, yes, sir. Do you have any idea who they might be? No, I don't. I'm sorry. Well, that figures you're still alive. Shall we hit the next place, Rock? I have to say, I'm not too worried. Modibo knows how to handle himself, and we have a little dependable security guard. So keep this character in mind. It's kind of funny. They hired someone to protect their shop. But of course, here come the Dojets, which put them in the path of the Lagoon traders in Shenhua. And it's just epic stand down. You want another bloodbath? Don't you ever learn? And I just love the action lines as shit just goes down quickly. This is not what I signed up for. Lay down suppressive fire, Lianuer. They're trying their best. And what I love about Shenhua, she does not use guns. She just knows how to go in, get the job done with blades. And she gets to Lianuer. I cannot pronounce my L's like that. I mean, she even gets her, and you can see how she rips through her Kevlar, getting that close while she is blasting fire. Of course, Rog takes fires, and he's like, so lively. Is this how you guys always roll? Of course not, but it always ends up this way. And I just love how there always has to be moments of levity. Why all this brutal shit is just happening, just boom, boom, boom. And of course, Leanne Claire, she gets left behind. It is pretty freaking gruesome what happens to her, but it makes her the prisoner of the Lagoon traders. Shit. Who are you guys? Security? Gunslinger. People with ties to your target. We want to know about Lamouche. Mind telling us? Go to hell, you white-collared mother... She's got some spunk. That's how I like my hostages. But your left eye's in bad shape, and if you don't tell us what we know, it's going to get worse. Now, they bring in Fang, which I appreciate. She was from volume... I think it was 11 and 12. No, are we on 12? We're on 12. So volumes 10 and 11, I think. But she was a cyber security person that screwed over Benny's girlfriend. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But she's working for Ronnie now, and she's able to pull up enough information about the dates and the names that were brought up, which gives Rock a bigger picture. She goes, I hope I repaid a fragment of what you did for me. You did. Thanks, Fang. Well, good. Come on over to Visconti Foods with 2 hands when things settle down. We will. I'm glad things are going well for you. And for you too, I hope you resolve whatever it is you're involved in. So I love how when new characters are introduced, they just organically merge into Roanapur, and you look forward to seeing them when they come up. The one thing, though, the last couple of volumes that's bugged me is how Benny and Dutch in particular always somehow tend to take a back seat. because when all the Lagoon traders are working together, it's freaking awesome. That's what I miss about the early versions. But here, when they're bringing in the name Rei Hiroe, no, not Rei Hiroe, Rei Major. I knew that. She's just, her and Revy are just two of a kind. You play your cards right, there's a way for you to get out of this alive. So no need to be so anxious. You tell us what Rock wants to know and we'll be A-okay. Smoke? No. You a health nut? Have one, it'll ease the pain. Smoking will slow you down. I don't want to die because I'm out of breath. Fine. Maybe we should include jogging and lifting weights in your daily routine. And it's just like seeing one another. And I just love how Revy can seem so heartless, but yet when she needs to, she hits you deadpan with facts, which makes Rei Major trust them. Yes, there's still that tension, but they were able to work with Hotel Moscow, bring in Dutch. And as the book comes to an end, the Dojets realize that something on this mission is wrong, which ends in a freaking bloodbath, which puts them right in the crosshairs of Balalaika. So guys, I'm intentionally leaving this relatively vague because I want you to go read Black Lagoon. This is probably one of the best mangas that I've read through the years. I remember when I was first introduced to it, I was like, this is going to be some cutesy random BS. And then I watched the first volume and I went, holy crap. And I went down to Barnes & Noble and picked up all the available mangas and I have been hooked since. So every time I see a new one coming out, I immediately grab it. I've already read volume 13 and we'll be going over that here in the near future. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and books and grab this series and check out the animated adaptations as well. They are equally awesome. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Lagoon bell. Next, subscribe. That way I can upload content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel. And I love talking to you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading and happy hunting, everyone.